when you start to elevate and setting a higher standard for yourself in your life, it will take a lot of energy and effort initially, but eventually, the more you do it, the more you get used to it, the more you start making space for the new and get rid of the old and start like prioritizing, the easier it becomes and the more natural it becomes. When you first start working out, your body's rejecting it. You're sore all the time. You're tired. You're wore out. And you just kind of feel defeated. But the more you work out, the more you get used to it. The more you're showing up to the gym, the more you just get in a habit of going. A lot of times, staying consistent isn't hard, but the getting started part is hard. Once you get started and get the ball rolling on a lot of things, then that's when your momentum picks up. And then it's like, okay, now I'm used to this. I'm getting in my routine. I'm learning what works for me and what doesn't. Another thing about when you start elevating in life is you've never been this person. You've never had these standards. You've never experienced these certain things or done certain things a certain way. So you start realizing like, okay, if I'm gonna be a gym girl, for example, that does not mean you have to be a 5 times a week lift heavy gym girl. There's so many different things that you can do to be a gym girl. You could just take classes. You could be a Pilates gym girl. You could be a kickboxing gym girl. You could be a 5 a.m. gym girl. But you have to figure out what works for you. There's no one way to be. If you start saying like, I want to make sure that I'm always done up, your version of done up might not be the same as someone else's version of done up or put together. But the more that you start to elevate and set these higher standards for yourself, you will start to realize like what that actually means to you, and you'll kind of like specify it to you personally. And then, like I said, eventually that'll just become your new norm. And another thing about elevation is that, a lot of times we don't feel like things are within our reach because we've never reached for them. A lot of times we see people, it's like we know that there's this other lifestyle out there. We know that people are doing these things and those things, and we see it and we know that it's real, but sometimes we feel like it's out of reach for us, or we feel like, that's just like a fairy tale, like that can't happen for us. But I really believe that if you stay consistent, you paint a clear picture of what you want and you move towards that thing, because I don't want to say work towards that thing, but literally just move towards it. You don't have to work hard necessarily, but literally make the strides, the steps, and the efforts to move in the direction of the things that you desire. And eventually you will get there. It might take time, but you will get there. You will start seeing, okay, this is where I'm falling short. This is where I need to fix something. This is where I'm falling short. This is where I need to fix something. This is where I need to make some changes. This is where I need to step my game up a little bit. But when you do first start to elevate and set higher standards for yourself, you will start realizing what you need to do, what works for you and what doesn't. And one thing, so like right now, I might look crazy right now, but I am literally working on being done up like 95% of the time, because I just feel better when I'm done up. I'm working on my skin, all those things. But right now I'm like in the beginning phases, and I feel like it seems kind of stressful because I'm looking crazy right now. But that's because I'm on this new schedule, I'm on this new path, and I want to be able to get on these videos and like be done up all the time. So the more I make these videos, the more consistent I start being, with these videos, then obviously I'll be able to like really see what works for me. But you have to be okay with being a little bit messy and a little bit sloppy and a little bit unorganized when you start something. But you have to be okay with starting even if it's a little bit sloppy, messy, or unorganized. You cannot wait until you get the perfect routine down and the perfect schedule and the perfect this and the perfect that to start. You have to start where you are, and when you start from where you are and kind of work through it, you'll start working out all the kinks, and you'll start working out all the the things that, all of the flaws, and then you'll perfect your plan. There's no such thing as perfect, but you will perfect your plan to work for you. And then there'll still be days where you fall short, and that's just a part of the experience. But the more you elevate and the more you start to evolve and like push towards greater things and getting on a different frequency, it's just like you'll just become accustomed to that. And then eventually, whatever you're striving for today, in 6 months to a year from now, that will be your new normal. Like, that will be what is normal for you. Let's just say you don't like to cook, and then you start making it a habit to cook 3 times a week. It might be a struggle right now because you gotta start grocery shopping, start learning how to prep stuff, learning what you do like to cook, what's really hard for you, what makes sense for you, what you know, stuff like that. But like, if you started that this week, in 6 months to now, that's gonna be the new norm for you. You can go from never cooking to eating out every day to cooking 3 times a week. But like I said, when you first get into the beginning stages, you have to still be okay with failing or feeling like you're getting it wrong or doing it backwards and running in circles and just all over the place, because you're developing a new habit, you're developing a new routine, you're also developing a new identity. Because if you're always saying, I'm not a gym girl, I don't work out, and then you start becoming a gym girl and you work out, that's a whole new identity, because you're not the girl that doesn't work out anymore. You are the gym girl now. You're not the wife or the mom or the person that doesn't cook anymore. Now you are the person that cooks. You're not the girl that doesn't wear makeup anymore. Now you're the girl that wears makeup. But it takes time to switch those identities over. Like, even it's just something as simple as learning how to be on time. Going from the girl that's always late to the girl that's always early, that is an identity shift. A lot of times we think it's just about habits, but when you shift your habits, you shift your identity, okay? It all goes hand in hand. When you shift your habits, you also shift your identity. So you go from identifying yourself as, oh, I don't work out, or I hate salads, or I don't wear makeup, or I don't wear this and I don't do that, and I don't go here and I don't go there, to being the person that does wear makeup, that does work out, that does eat healthy, that does go to these type of places on vacation, that does date this type of man and frequent these type of places and shop at these places. The more you change your habits and elevate your habits, while you're elevating your habits, you're also elevating your identity. So I just want to remind you guys that when you start something out, it's gonna be a little rocky. You're not gonna be perfect, but you start anyways. And when you start, you'll learn what you should and shouldn't do, what works for you and what doesn't, and what helps you stay grounded in this new identity that you're in. Because as much as you stay consistent, it's still easy to fall off. But I feel like it's easy to fall off when people decide, well, I had one rough week or one rough day, or let's just say, back to the cooking example, if you go from never cooking to having a goal of cooking 3 times a week, and then for some reason one week you get really busy, you don't cook all week. It's so easy to fall back into that old identity of, well, I had a bad week, so I'm not gonna cook anymore. And then next thing you know, 2 weeks go by, you haven't cooked, 3 weeks go by, you haven't cooked, 4 weeks go by, you haven't cooked. Or say with the gym, you're on a good stretch for 5-6 months, and then you have one really crazy chaotic month, and then you barely went to the gym all month. Now 2 months you haven't been to the gym, 3 months you haven't been to the gym. You have to learn how to bounce back even when you don't have a perfect week. You have to learn how to bounce back and understand that you're not always going to get it right. But that does not give you permission to quit or go back to your old identity. You still have to keep your standards high. You still have to stay in that new identity that you have formed, because it's so easy to slip back into the old self when you feel like you have to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. You will have weeks where you only cook twice a week, or you might slip up and be late, but now that's just a part of the process. That does not mean that you identify as the old version of you that is always late. No, you just happen to be late 1 or 2 times this month versus the 8 to 9 times that you're usually late. Like, when you build new habits, you build a new identity. So yeah, that's basically what I just wanted to say. I want to keep on talking about this, like elevating and raising your vibrations and raising your standards, because raising your standards, a lot of people don't, because it takes effort, work, and consistency on their part. But the thing is, if you stick it out and you work towards it long enough, I won't even say, stop saying work towards it, because work sounds like work. If you gravitate towards it and move towards it, then you will develop this whole new persona, this whole new identity. And now you're a different person, because you are consistently doing these new things and embodying these new habits. And when you embody new habits, you become a new person, aka you have a new identity.